So this podcast is going to be bad parenting versus good parenting and showing on what's going on in society.
Yep.
This is the video I want to start off. It's pretty funny. We'll comment on this one.
All right.
My dad's generation and your generation. What the fuck? Men back in the days and men today. It's a sad fucking commentary.
So this is what we're dads. You know, we should declare that.
Yep.
And you have a boy or a girl?
I have a boy and a girl.
Nice. How old are they?
Yeah, I have a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Oh, nice. And boy is older or younger?
Boy is older.
Okay, so
Yeah.
as a dad, do you raise the boy different than the daughter?
I don't know. I'm probably a little bit harder on him.
Yeah,
Right.
you got to be. They're
You know what I
boys.
mean?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's probably it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the girl you raise her different, obviously.
Yeah, like a girl.
Yeah,
right?
like a
So she's got
princess.
100% nailed it, man. Princess, right? So, Barbies, playhouses, dolls, stuff like that.
Yeah. You have different standards of their upbringing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like me, like my daughter, she's 2 and a bit. But like I would raise her just as a princess.
Yep.
The whole time. Like she's gonna be taken care of. I'll pay for everything. She's different treatment than my son if I ever had one. I would love a son at this point because I want to do like a 20-year study and show how you raise a son versus a daughter. Totally different.
Definitely.
You know, the boy's working at 12.
Yeah.
He's kicked out of the house, working hard, duty, discipline, everything that builds a man's character.
Yeah, 100%.
And he can hate me now, but he'll love me later.
You nailed it, man. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, it's crazy how a lot of people don't understand that. And this video right here about today's generation, you see the difference in generations.
Yeah, 100%.
It's crazy.
It's wild, man. It's wild.
It's alarming. Like my wife Natalie, she K to 12 or K to 5, sorry, and it's just embarrassing what's going on today.
Yeah. It's brutal, man. It's brutal.
Like if we're in a war in the next 20 years, who's gonna fight the war?
No, exactly. 100%, man.
Yeah.
100%. No, I'm with you on that one for sure.
Yeah. So what would you tell the other dads out there that are terrible dads? There's a lot of bad parenting on there, and it's our job to call the bad dads out because there's nothing worse for a son growing up and he has a fat loser dad.
Yeah, 100%. Like overweight, fat, literally drinking all the time. You know what I mean? Like, what's that dad going to do if there was an emergency and they need to get the kid to the hospital? Or, you know what I mean? But he's at home drunk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just not doing anything.
Yeah. And he's got no ambition. He's he's happy with the 9 to 5 for the last 50 years.
Yeah.
He's just paying rent or whatever it is, just zero goals in life. And then your son is your dad is supposed to be your hero.
Yep.
Right. And then you're supposed to surpass your dad.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Eventually.
That's
Yeah.
why you're raising your kid to be better than you.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. That's the most successful thing any father is when your son finally challenges you
Yep.
and surpasses you.
Yep.
Then you know you did a great job.
Yeah. You're fucking proud.
Yeah.
You know what I
You're
mean?
proud.
100%,
Yeah.
man.
There's nothing worse than your son just being a lazy, stupid idiot because you just don't raise him with discipline or punishments or anything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
they raise to be these spoiled little brats and they end up in jail or addicted to drugs.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah,
That's it, man.
that's the majority of the people today. So now we have 10% of kids like our older generation, and then the 90% are these soy boy losers that dress as furries in high schools.
Yeah.
Do you know about the furry thing?
I've a little bit. A
Okay.
little bit.
So this is a furry in high schools right now.
These are some of my favorite things to do as a furry. Love to watch my favorite show. This season is so good. Then I go outside for
What
some
the
exercise. Do about 10 furry trots back and forth. I start with a big howl. So I'm super thirsty, you guys, so I'm just going to take a sip of water as a furry would. A lot of people don't know that one of the superpowers of being a furry is that you can telepathically communicate with cats. No, I'm so jealous of you. You get to poop in a box.
Stop playing in my litter box, you're disgusting.
Anyways, Cooper, I'm really jealous of you that you get to poop in a box and I don't.
You already did.
Also, I'm always munching on my favorite kibble. Also love to chew on my favorite toy. I got this at Furries R Us. But yeah, guys, comment down below for a part 2. And I'm gonna say goodbye in my furry language.
What in the actual fuck? You know what I mean? That's ridiculous, man.
You'd actually think this is a joke
Yeah.
until you talk to high school kids. A few of my younger cousins are in high school, and this is a real thing. And if you and the teachers are supporting it,
Yeah.
and they're making bathrooms now for them, and if you're a kid that is normal, apparently in high school now, if you're a white couple, you're a loser.
Yeah.
Like you have to be non-binary, transgender, furry, or they, them, whatever it is, to be cool.
Yeah.
So a lot of these kids actually don't think that, but to have friends, they act like that. It's just like in high school, if we want to be cool, we'd play rugby or smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
In the smoke pit, that's how you made friends.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
Honestly, what's worse? I think this is way worse.
That blows my mind, man.
Yeah.
I've never seen that video, and that blows my mind.
This is
Wow.
probably extreme version.
Yeah.
But apparently Lord Tweedsmuir is really bad for it. Brookswood's really bad for
Really?
it. These are all lower mainland schools. This is what they look like in school.
When you don't think Utah could get any weirder, this happens. So yesterday at Mount Nebo Middle School, kids walked out in protest because why? Furries. Do you know what a furry is? I had to look it up, but supposedly it's when, you feel like you're connected with the animal world, so you dress up as it. And these kids were saying that these furries at this school were biting and scratching and being super distracting, and they weren't gonna take it anymore. So they wanted to be down with the furries. And Mount Nebo is like, what? This isn't actually what's happening. Like, some kids like to dress up or wear like a headband with some like cat ears or something, but that's just what kids like to do. They think that the reports and what's been put out there on social media is inaccurate. It's just funny. I mean, these kids, they did their right to assemble. Proud of them for that. They did an online petition that got over 1,000 signatures. Now, what did the furries have to say? Utah in general has a pretty good nerd culture, and while furry is still a little bit fringe in that, we are generally pretty accepted, but not at Mount Nebo. So you better watch out because those kids aren't dealing anymore with those furries. What do you think?
So what's going on is there are some kids that are fighting back
Yeah.
traditionalism.
Definitely.
You do see it coming back. You see like people like you and me are starting to raise our kids more traditional.
Yep.
And but there's a whole generation, like my cousin got screwed up in it. His name's Carson Rose, or whatever you want to call him, but he said they, them, non-binary, weird little freak.
Yeah.
But he graduated, and then he wanted in high school he wanted the sex change and hormone blockers, but his mom said no.
Yeah.
And then when he graduated, he grew out of it, and now he's like, thank you for not doing that because I'm confused.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. What would you do if your kids wanted to do something like this?
Ooh, I don't even think it would get to that point where they would want to do something like that, man. Like, I'm telling you, man. But like, I don't even know what I would do, man. Like, I'm speechless.
Yeah. It's there's a study done where this lady, she does a podcast, homeschool kids versus public school kids, and she interviews her kid that's never been to public school, and she just asks her one question: what is a transgender? They, them, what is that? She's like, I don't know, mom.
Yeah.
I don't get it. She's like, what is that? She's like, good, you don't need to know. Now,
100%.
when you go to school
Yeah.
and you see all your friends doing it, like they think it's cool or it's normal. Like 1 to 7 is the most impressionable ages for all kids. That's how they learn to like sponges.
Yeah. Yeah.
They become their surroundings. All kids are programmable from birth. So they're like empty computers when they're first born, and they learn different traits from mom and dad and all their friends and grandpa and grandparents, and that's what forms their personality.
Yep.
Right? So why do you think they keep attacking kids like this little freak right here teaching kids how to twerk in school?
Be saved. Michael went on to do great things. He taught twerking in schools. He started a new fitness phenomenon called Twerk to 20. No one's sure if it works or not, but they're giving money for it anyway. And he became the first Olympic athlete to win a gold medal for twerking. Michael was a national hero, all because he followed his heart, all because he was true to himself and being.
What do you think about that?
Oh, for starters, man, I'm kind of, again, speechless. But like I sent my kid to private school
Yeah.
to avoid this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I
Do you
mean?
send them to private school?
I send him to private school,
Oh,
man. Yeah, like
perfect.
I do a 30 to 40 minute drive to
Yeah,
get him to
yeah.
school.
What school?
It's Our Lady of Good Counsel.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that's the way to go nowadays.
100%,
even me
man.
and Claire, or sorry, me and Natalie, edit that, please. Me and Natalie were thinking about doing that if
Yep.
it came to that. The reason why she she does a school job is to filter out the school systems
Yep.
for her daughter to get into.
Yep.
And so whatever school she goes to, because like if I saw that, if
Yeah.
I even heard of that,
Yeah.
I would get really aggressive.
Oh, especially for young kids like that, man.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, see, the problem with you dads out there, you're too complacent for shit like this, and you're not aggressive. The difference between a man and a woman is a man is supposed to be aggressive when shit gets bad.
Yeah.
That is bad.
That's extreme.
You have no. You look at even the parents are in that video, you're taking their kids there like it's a cool thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
recording
crazy.
it. You can see the one on the left recording it. You know what I mean? Like, whoa.
Like and this is like where I was doing on a podcast earlier where I honestly believe we're getting to a point in our society that people should have a license to have children.
Yeah.
They should.
Definitely.
You know, because
Definitely.
people are having kids with just anyone nowadays just to have a kid. But these kids are having major trauma. The most important thing for parents is to make sure kids have no child trauma.
Exactly.
That's the number one thing, because then they don't need to recover from anything. Daddy wasn't there, mommy wasn't there, daddy left, mommy left, or daddy let me watch twerking videos. Now I'm twerking for $2 bills at the strip club.
Yeah.
The biggest failure of any father is seeing their daughter in a strip pole.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly, since I've had a daughter, I can't go to strip clubs anymore.
No.
I'm-
Life has changed, man. Trust me.
She's ruined it for me. I went to a strip club after I had a daughter, and I was just sitting there, and my mind has changed. And I used to love the strip clubs to have a good little conversation, and then now I'm like judging them, like, oh man, if their dad probably wasn't there, like that's terrible. Imagine if that was my kid,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And I just have no fun.
No,
And they're
100%,
trying
man.
to talk to me, and I just look at them like terrible parenting.
Just in deep thought the whole time, man.
And they're like, hey, are you gay? You don't want to lap dance? I'm like, this is disgusting.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
it's
No doubt.
absolutely an embarrassment that your dad allows you to strip or daddy wasn't there.
100%.
And how I like to get reassurance that I'm a good dad sometimes is Natalie K-12. She works with a disgruntled type of kids.
Yeah.
And so she tells me some dark shit or
Yeah.
like parents are selling their kids for sex.
Yeah, that's horrible, man.
That's crazy.
That's
She'll come
horrible.
home and tell me some fucked up stories. Like I thought I had a bad day, and I'm like, that's a bad day.
Oh, 100%.
And then like that's the extreme part aside. Then there's like the starvation,
Yeah.
where inflation has gotten so bad that they can't afford to feed their kids.
Yeah.
And they stink wearing the same clothes. Now Natalie has $1,000 month allowance from all teachers do now to go up to kids that they think are starving and have no clothes and go bring them food and clothes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, that's nice.
That's a new program.
Yeah.
That's how bad it's gotten that they're allowed to do that now.
Crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And every teacher gets that.
So she's a youth and care worker.
Okay, yeah.
So she works in the youth and care section. She doesn't work with the teacher part. So
Yeah.
they do. I'm not sure if the
Crazy.
teachers do.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then like she has to detach from that and come home
Yeah.
and be a parent.
Wow.
And then I'm like, sometimes I like the stories because I'm doing good.
Yeah.
You know, the worst thing I've done to my kids so far is put on a timeout.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Exactly.
Like, you know what?
No doubt.
The one thing I want to talk about is we need to bring discipline back to children,
Yeah.
especially boys.
Oh, 100%.
There's nothing worse than seeing a kid at Toys R Us with their single mom that works 3 jobs because the deadbeat father left them, and he's crying about some expensive toy that she can't afford, and he's like freaking out, and wants to hit her mom.
Yeah.
I just want to go up and like punch the kid out.
There's a lot of that too, man. Yeah, 100%. Wow.
It's wild. And people like nowadays, you have to remember, like, so our grandparents growing up, what is the difference? Like the first video, the difference between our generations, the main difference was discipline.
Yeah,
That was all it was.
definitely.
Dads were still drunks. Dads were still, maybe more or less present. We don't know. But the main thing was discipline.
Yeah.
Like when I grew up, my mom tried to discipline me. I would just laugh at her.
Yeah.
But she would just say, I'll call your dad. And I'm like, no.
And then you knew. Then
Oh,
you knew.
yeah, I knew. And my dad would just call me, wait till we get home.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I hope there's an accident on the way home. and he never forgot.
No, for sure, man.
But
for
I
sure.
was the personality type. Like, I do believe there are personality types where, so for example, my daughter, I know she's a lot like her dad. She's not like her mom. So she's very challenging, very will say, she looks at you like she's saying, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Doesn't listen at all.
Yeah.
So there is a time and place where I'm going to have to lay the hand down.
Definitely.
And you only have to do it once. My dad only did it once. He only beat me up because I told him to go fuck himself right to his face.
Yeah.
And he's like, motherfucker. And that was probably my 200th straw
No doubt.
that month.
No
and
doubt.
he kicked me down a flight of stairs.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
honestly, I had 2 major attitude corrections in my life. Was that moment in my life changed me for the better and gave me discipline, like, oh, I'm not invincible.
Yeah.
And then 22, I lipped off the wrong person.
Yeah.
And he actually came to look me up and tracked me down.
Really?
Off of a Facebook comment. Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
and this guy was a really well-known fighter, very feared in the community.
Yeah.
And this, I don't know, like, man, like when you look in a guy's eyes, you know someone's a killer when you look in their eyes.
Yeah.
This guy was an animal. Like,
Crazy.
terrifying.
Yeah.
It would take 12 cops to take him down. Like, this guy was giant. And he didn't beat me up. He just put the fear of God in me with the words I said. I explained the story to him. I was not in the right, but I was a little too lippy.
Yeah.
But he put me in my place, and I shook his hand like 7 years later when I ran into him.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was the day I decided to not be lippy anymore.
That's it, eh? I love it.
And I was like, respectful, but I'm also very I defend myself on all levels.
Yeah.
I actually play on a lot of hockey teams, but I got kicked off of 5 hockey teams in the last 10 years.
Crazy.
Because people call me confrontational because I defend myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't take shit.
That's
I don't
funny.
care who you are. I'm not scared of humans at all.
No.
I laugh in their face. You see a gangster or a cop try to get tough with you, I don't care. A smile just grows on my face.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is entertaining. You're a human being. Like, the worst you can do is beat me up or kill me. Well, I don't have to pay bills anymore. Oh, God forbid.
Yeah, no
the
shit.
worst thing you could do is let me live and be fine.
Yeah. Exactly.
I have to be a slave to bills the rest of my life.
That's funny.
So have you seen the Dregs reading story time for kids?
No, I've heard a lot about it, but I like I said, I don't watch any of these videos.
You gotta get in the world, bro. Realities are here.
Breaking news. There's a video of a drag queen reading to children, and it's causing a lot of controversy. Check this out.
Does anyone know what a drag queen is? No? You know what a drag queen is? But they warm up, they get to know who I am. A drag queen is a character you create to express your feminine side or any other side of yourself that you'd like to explore.
I would like to be a superhero.
Yeah, you could be a drag queen superhero. Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that this is a problem because this drag queen simply isn't just going into this classroom and reading them a book. They are specifically reading a book about being a drag queen. And when this girl right here says she wants to be a superhero, instead of just affirming that and saying, yeah, you can be a superhero, they specifically made it a drag queen superhero. And people are saying that this is very inappropriate for this person to come in there and read them a book that is not for their age level whatsoever. And even the people who agree with drag queens reading to children are saying that this is going too far because when drag queens go into the classroom, they say that they're just supposed to be reading books, not books specifically geared to becoming a drag queen. That instead of this person reading them like a good book, like Jack and the Beanstalk or something like that, they're reading them a book on how to explore their femininity and how to become a drag queen at such a young age. And many people are saying that parents are the ones who should be telling their children about this kind of stuff, not random people coming to schools and telling them about this, activity. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts? Let me know down below. Don't forget to like this video, share it everywhere, hit that follow button. Until next time, love, peace, and talk.
You know what they're trying to do? I do a lot of rabbit hole searching, and 99% of things I research that are called conspiracy theory actually turn out to be true.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%, man. I go down those rabbit holes all the time, man.
It's weird how I'll tell during the years of we can't say the word, but 2020 to 2022, I did a lot of research. I'm very analytical on everything I do or want to do, and it's crazy how a person that can do the research and comes out of the rabbit hole with all the evidence and goes up to a person that doesn't do any research and tells them the truth and all the evidence for them to decide, and they call you conspiracy theorists.
Yeah,
and
that's
I'm
it.
like, before this conversation, have you done any research? No, I just watched the TV.
Yeah.
And I'm the fucking crazy guy.
No, 100%.
That
man.
as well. So anyways, I figured out what they're doing with the drag queen thing. So worldwide, actually it's just a Western culture because Arab countries would never accept this. But Western culture is the reason why they're attacking kids so much is the bigger picture is the great mass depopulation agenda.
100%.
So these people, when they eventually cut off their dicks, apparently 40% of Gen Z is now non-binary, gay, or trans. Like 40%. 40%, and it's climbing. Wow. Okay, so let's do a big picture. So they have, when they attack kids from 1 to 7, because that's how they're major programmable, and they do get the gender blockers, which is very big in California. You know, it's like you look at Megan Fox, all of her kids are trans. Most celebrity kids are trans or non-binary because it's the cool new fad.
Exactly.
But when they take those hormone blockers, like Elon Musk did a post where one of his kids took those drugs, and the major side effect is sterilization.
Yeah.
They can't have kids.
Exactly.
Girls or boys.
Yeah, crazy, man.
Right? And so when you have 40% of the population, that's, subject A, and then you have North Americans only having 1.4 kids per 2 people.
Yeah.
Put that up there. And then you have the transgender surgery, which is irreversible.
Yeah.
Right? And then they're grooming. Like if you look in Germany, they just legalized child pornography.
But that's insane.
That's insane, right? And then Trudeau, when he first came into office, he changed the legal age from anal sex consent from 18 to 16. No one knew about it. It was just on the news, like for a 5-second clip, and then it changed.
Crazy.
You can Google that. So what they're doing is they're making a whole generation, like our kids' generation, this is normal.
Yeah.
So, and then they changed the word pedophile to minor attracted child or whatever it is.
Oh shit.
To make it less creepy.
Yeah.
Right? And it's on a massive scale. So if you put all those pieces together on your puzzle, it builds a picture. They're trying to make it normal to fuck kids.
Yeah.
That's it.
Crazy.
And there's a new, not new stat, it's a pretty old stat, but a stat of 800,000 kids per year go missing in the United States alone. And always 800,000 kids missing. Right? And there's a video done. I can't pull it up here. It's very graphic, but this is starting to come to light. This is really deep in the rabbit hole. This is like level 3 shit. There's level 20 shit.
Yeah.
So there's world elites going around to poor families or poor moms and that are drug addicted and paying them to take their kids.
Yeah, that's nuts, man.
Yeah, like they'll pay them even like before they're born. They'll pay them like $250,000 down, $250,000 on pickup. Make sure you don't get a SIN number.
Wow.
So they're untraceable.
Wow.
Right. So there's this lady going to jail because she sold her 2-year-old kid to 4 sex predators.
Holy
for
shit.
just drugs.
Yeah.
Because she's drug addicted. And they abused the kid so bad that it died.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. Yeah, that's too much. I don't even like hearing that shit, man.
No,
you know what I mean?
but you
like,
have to hear it though, because the problem is when you say you don't want to hear it, a lot of people turn a blind eye to that shit. But then evil grows.
No, definitely, for sure.
It grows unchecked. Evil prevails when good men do nothing.
Yeah.
You know, like your religious faith. What's your religion?
Catholic.
Yeah, Catholic, right? Yeah. So you guys have certain ways of living.
Yep.
But you have to check evil.
Yep.
You know, we have to all check evil.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, God forbid, there's called the surface world, then there's the underworld. We live on the surface world. In the underworld, people turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
There's a huge fucking underground slave system.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
They said today there's more slaves today than there was back in slavery times.
Shit.
Right? Like sex trafficking is the number one way to make money in the world right now. Is kidnapping kids. Did you see Sounds of Freedom?
No.
Oh, you got to go see it. It's good. You know what it's about, right?
Nope.
Sounds of Freedom is a movie. He's a Christian guy, and he brings to light about all the stats of all the major pedophiles rings. LA's apparently North America is the number one.
It's like a documentary?
It's like a documentary movie. It's really good.
Okay,
It films kids getting raped and kidnapped, and it's a very dark movie, but it really opens your eyes to it.
Yeah.
And then I actually, where my campsite is, I talked to a cop that is underground investigator in that world, and she said the number one place for pedophiles to come to is Canada.
Yeah.
So if the bigger picture is, if you look at why the laws for raping kids is so minimal is because the people that are in power, the legislators, are doing it.
Yeah.
Make sense?
That makes total sense, man.
Like most countries are not necessarily, especially Putin and Russia, they're giving the death penalty.
Yeah.
The kid, like right away. There's no question about it, you're done.
Like you do something to a kid, you're dead?
You're done.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be.
Like not even just sex abuse too.
Yeah.
You're gone.
That's 100%, man.
Yeah. So in their group chats, like she's pretends she's a pedophile and goes into these group chats.
Yeah.
And she screenshots or records all the all the things, all IP addresses to find them.
Yeah, yeah.
And they all say, "Come to Canada, come to Canada." There's minimal laws here. It's very easy to get away. And they have different code words. The states, Congress got caught for this in the states where they were. It's called Pizzagate. You can look it up. Where Congress was emailing this pizza place, for like 20,000 hot dogs, or that meant boys. Mexican hot dogs meant Mexican boys. Pizza meant girls, or whatever the code word was. And Trump brought this to light, and they just got CNN just got rid of it.
Yeah. Shit. Like they got rid of it, just put it on their table.
So what they do is there's a thing called, I don't know if Catholic believes in this, but there's a thing called karma. You have to. They literally tell you what they're going to do on all levels before they do it. Years of 2020 and 2022, they wrote a book about it in 2018, telling the exact date and time that virus is coming out. In 2019. And then they wrote about it, and then that author was killed or dead, gone. And they tell you, because if they tell you, and you give your consent, that's your consent if you don't do anything about it.
Exactly.
Right? Like Bill Gates said on a podcast, we're going to depopulate the world through vaccines. Literally said it at a podcast, and everyone's just like, what?
No shit.
And then Jim walks down, all that stuff. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
No shit.
It's like the stupidity, or not even maybe stupidity, but there's people to give a fuck to actually do the research to know about that. Our friends probably know more stats about football games or hockey games than they do any about this stuff. It's everywhere.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You go to the local Walmart holding your daughter's hand, you see how many creeps look at her. It's disgusting.
No, 100%, man.
There's guys in this world that wake up one day, I can't wait to see that little girl, little boy.
No, definitely, man.
I can't even wrap my mind around that.
No, it's fucked.
It's weird. How do you get turned on by that?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't even comprehend it.
No, not at all, man.
And the worst thing about being a dad, especially an alpha dad, is I am my daughter's security officer. At all times. And God forbid anything ever happened to her. I'd go full Rambo.
Yeah, exactly.
The last Rambo movie where his daughter got kidnapped, underground sex slave trade, he went full Rambo. Word for word, I'd do that.
Daughter or son, man. You can notice these creeps out there too. Even when I go out there, and I have both of them with me. You know what I mean? So it's it's freaking crazy, man.
Yeah, it's I want to. I'm now that I have a kid, and I notice it, I'm gonna call it out. But the problem is you can't prove it.
No, exactly.
So we have similar careers, and we have to be yes sir, no sir. And my only fear is that I call Buddy out for creeping on my kid, and then I get aggressive, and he calls the cops, and I get a charge for assault because I can't prove he was creeping on my kid.
Exactly.
That's fucked up.
Exactly. No, 100%.
We need to go back 100 years ago where they used to hang kids like this. Instantly. Today, there's no punishments or anything. The biggest thing is accountability. Punishments, accountability. People are scared to discipline their kids. But we are entering a dark times in our society that we have a whole lost generation to this furry shit, twerking trans. There's a trans just up at Clayton Heights here on Sundays. They do that little community sell off, whatever it is, and there's a trans there. I'm walking my daughter, I'm like, I'm going hard left here.
Yeah. Well, the thing is I really don't care what, if that's how someone wants to be, fine. Right? Don't put it on the fucking kids.
No,
you know what I mean?
You
know what I mean? That's just wild. Same thing as that furry shit. You know what I mean? If that's what they want to do, you can't bring that to school. You know what I mean? That's just going to influence other kids to want to kind of continue on with that shit as well. And it's they got to put a stop to that, man.
Well, the one thing about the furry thing I didn't get into is that they are in character 24/7.
Well,
it's not just a temporary thing.
Well, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he was saying in his kid's school that one of the kids classifies as a cat. So when you talk to the fucking kid, you have to here, kitty, 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 to have a fucking conversation with the cat. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Right? And this guy, he's Punjabi. He's like, dude, he's like, I'm going to send my kid to a Catholic or a Christian school, man. He's like, because it's not they're not going to get this shit.
Yeah. Even though I'm not religious at all, I do like the family foundations you guys have.
Yeah, 100%.
It's very admirable. It's very, like, I have a lot of friends that are Christian and all that stuff, and their family values, it's almost, and like how the women are and how the men are, how the women are very conservative. Like when you look Natalie, the way she dresses, she looks Christian. Like she's all covered up 24/7. She's very like pro that. She's very family oriented. I'm like, we need some God in schools.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Like, I believe there is a creator for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just against the part of the religion aspect of it, just the division, like, Christian, just the name branding of things.
Yeah.
I hate the division. If God could all bring us together under one roof, then I'm all for it.
2 other myths. 1, adopted children can develop normally. Wrong. 2nd myth, single parenting works. Wrong. I can go down the list. And why do we say adopted people can have normal development? Because some psychiatrists or psychologists who wanted to write a book that was to be liked said it was okay. Because a majority of the people he thought or she thought were going to be adopted that bought his book. The beginning of the end of mankind, in my opinion, happened in 1969 when the book I'm Okay, You're Okay came out. I'm Okay, You're Okay. And it was by a psychiatrist named Stein. And he basically said the premise of the book is whatever you do is okay, and I accept you for what you are and who you are and what you do, and whatever I do, you do the same. And the guys on Wall Street used to laugh and say, I'm okay, you're okay, cha-cha-cha. Because it was a joke. The book was written like a fucking joke, but because of you people that read 2 books a day, contrary to what Einstein said, it was a bestseller, and that was the beginning of the end. That was the beginning of the end. Because everything you do, asshole, isn't okay. And if you think so, you better get super rich and go live on a fucking island in the middle of nowhere where you're not affecting anybody. If that were the case, then you could never default on a loan. I'm okay, you're okay. And I mean, the absurdity of it is beyond comprehension.
And honestly, I love Dan Pena. He's good. Do you ever watch him?
No.
He's me as a grandpa. His job is he goes around to giving motivational speeches to the younger generation. He literally calls them, like, this is a good one right here.
I want you to see that you're a cunt. A worthless piece of shit that should have rolled down the inside of your fat mama's leg. And when you see that, week after week after week after week, you either do something about it like Gerard, or just resign yourself to being a worthless piece of shit cunt.
Yeah. Anyways, this is the type of coaching guys need nowadays.
Yeah.
People were so nice for the last 30 years. Where does niceness get us? Emotional. Everyone's emotional nowadays. Emotion.
Yeah.
They tell guys to live in their emotions.
Yeah.
Like, if I lived in what I actually think when I get mad, I get quiet for a reason. I'm quiet. Like, Natalie, when I'm mad, if I'm quiet, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to control the inner dragon inside of ripping your fucking head off and putting it through the wall. Because I think about consequence. Anyways, that last video, the one before that, the biggest one is there is a stat done. Single parents, or especially single moms, are now, there's a stat done, raise worse children than single dads because of one key component, discipline.
Yeah.
Right? Mom are nurturers. Mom or dads are security and discipline.
Yeah.
Period. We're the authority in the house.
Definitely.
When, like I just said, when my mom tried to discipline me, I just laugh.
Yeah.
That doesn't make, like, I bet your son or daughter is scared of you.
The same thing, man. It's the same thing. And then once my wife gets a hold of me, right, the dad voice comes out, they straighten out real quick. You know what I mean? Just that little slight tone in the voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they know, shit, dad's here. Like, like we got to smarten our ass up.
Yeah. And it's like, especially sons, actually, I think it's both. Sons and daughters need their dads.
Yeah.
You know what? And the most heartbreaking thing that pisses me off the most is when there's a good woman and she gives birth to these kids and she trusts the guy to stay and he leaves.
Yeah.
It's just to go party.
Yeah.
And bang other chicks.
And that happens far too much nowadays.
It is. It for sure is, but there is an equal or worse thing that's happening. Women are now leaving because they're not happy.
Yeah.
Like there's a saying, men will sacrifice their happiness for their family. Women will sacrifice their family for their happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
That's
like
true,
in the Western culture, the divorce rate's now almost 80%.
Yeah, that's wild. Man.
First marriages.
Crazy.
90% if she's college educated.
Yeah.
That's insane.
90% if she's college. Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
That's the new stat for North America.
That's crazy.
That's
man.
insane. Imagine being even like the younger kids, like the worst thing about being a guy is if you get married by the government in North America, she can just wake up and not be happy and leave.
Yeah.
Right. So the biggest thing is stop getting divorced. It's embarrassing, but to get to that point, you have to vet your partner.
Yeah.
The biggest choice any man and woman makes in their life is the person who they have kids with.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that matters is children.
No, for sure.
Right. And a lot of people don't even want kids anymore.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, what? So you're just going to pay bills and live in the slave system and pay taxes until the day you die and have no fulfillment?
Yeah.
Like as a father, you're probably fulfilled.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, man. That was the proudest moment of my life. On top of that, that's what honestly made me change my life, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for the better.
Yeah. Like
right?
honestly, I did not like kids until I had my own kid. Like it's the weird. I always tell people like that. They're always like, oh, you know, being an auntie or uncle is fun because the kid goes home.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but when it's your kid,
yeah,
your biology and your mind changes. Like the other thing I don't like about being a dad is like, I have so much responsibilities because I want to and I have to.
Yep.
So I can't go party. I can't go to the concert. I got to say no. On the weekends, I just want to hang out with my family.
Yeah.
Natalie's only off work during the summers and holidays because she's a teacher and that's it.
Yeah.
And then I get to see her for 2 hours at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly, man. Wow.
And then it's just like you miss, and the most beautiful times you'll never get is, 1 to 10.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful time of any childhood.
No, exactly.
Like every time I see my kid, like we upstairs, I'll show you later. We have a room of just pictures of every month.
Yeah.
Of my kid because
100%.
we love her so much.
Yeah, man.
We canceled our Vegas trip because we were gonna go see Hauser play because we like classical music, and we're like, let's cancel it and just go to Disneyland instead.
Yeah.
So we can bring Vera.
Bang on.
Yeah.
Bang on, man.
That
Right?
sounds way more fun.
And then when you see the look in the kids' eyes at Disneyland, enjoying everything, the magic, the whole experience, man, it's all worth it, man.
It's also because we never had that as a child, so we kind of live our life through it. Plus, we're big kids at heart.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's such a like when I went there, I thought, oh, it's the Peony.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, wow, this is like I need to be here for a week.
No, it's a different experience, man. Total different experience, man.
We're going down to see the Halloween version of it.
Nice, yeah.
Because Halloween's my favorite time of year.
We've been there Halloween, Christmas. Halloween's honestly was the best one.
Yeah, I love it. It just reminds you of your childhood.
100%, man. If you're gonna go, man, they got the Oogie Boogie Bash.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like they shut the gates at 6.
Yeah.
And you get to be in the park trick or treating with your kids at night, do all the rides, stuff like that, man. So it's like
but that's a separate thing, though, right?
It's a separate thing. You gotta pay separate for the tickets.
Yeah. She brought it up, but she's like, "Oh, maybe Vera's too young." I'm like, I don't know, man. If we're already down there, we should probably just do it. Like,
you just got to keep your eye out, man. Watch when the tickets go on sale because they sell out so fast.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
She has a clock on her phone where she can buy it. She's doing the mini breakfast for sure.
Yep.
And then the Oogie Boogie Bash she wants to do. I'm like, I don't care. We got money.
But it's like $100 American or $150 American per ticket. It's worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the one thing I wanted to ask you, because how long have you been married for?
We've been married going on 7 years.
Okay, so what? Yeah. That's longer than most.
Yeah. I've been with her since 2010.
Oh wow, yeah. What is the number one thing that makes a successful marriage?
What would that be, man? It's hard to say, man.
Top 5 things.
Top 5 things, man. I don't even know how I would label that, man. It's just I just know I'm married with her. It's just a perfect match, man. I don't know what to say, man.
Yeah,
like,
it just works naturally.
It just works naturally, man.
Yeah, me and Natalie work so well together on every level. It's almost boring.
Yeah,
like how perfect we are for each other.
Yeah,
like she's perfect for me.
Yeah,
and I'm perfect for her. Oh, I hope I am. I don't know. She
exactly.
just says that.
As long as I say that, man, it's right?
It's funny when she does something bad. I kind of like laugh at her, and she's like, "Why are you not mad?" I'm like, "Trust me, anything that you do, I probably will do 10 times worse to you."
No doubt.
You
man.
married me,
and
I married you, and you're a lot less worse than I am. I can guarantee it.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
No, a lot of people don't understand nowadays when you get married. Marriage is not about personal happiness. It's about the family happiness and bringing family together and staying together. The worst thing about any childhood is when mom and dad break up and stepdaddy or stepmommy come in.
Yeah.
There's a stat I just came out. I wish I wrote these numbers, but when you have a stepdad or stepmom, they have like a 400% increase of being abused.
Crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That
100%.
honestly, what keeps me and Anna together when things kind of get a little rough, because we get boredom sets in, and that's just normal. Our number one fear that keeps us together at all times is if we broke up, I have to ask stepdad for permission to see my kid.
Yeah.
And I'm way too big-headed to ask another man to see my sperm.
No, 100%.
And there's some guys that I grew up with that have to do that. Ask stepdad for permission.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you swallow that?
I don't know how they could do that, man.
Yeah. How do you not see your kid smile every day?
Yeah.
It's insane.
No shit.
Like Natalie's the same way. Like her worst fear is me rolling a 20-year-old through.
Yeah.
And then raising the kid and being mommy number 2.
Exactly.
Like insane. We both have broken homes. So our number one thing is that we both sit down and we talk it out. We don't have a fight longer than a day. Our fights are so dumb. Our fights are hypotheticals.
Yeah.
We'll sit there and hypothetically fight about something that has never happened, but just because we have different opinions on it, because
100%.
we're so boring.
Yeah.
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 And just because we just work so well.
I get that, man.
And do you ever get this with your wife? You'll be thinking something and she says it later.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think
100%.
a lot of successful couples have that ability.
Yep.
I noticed that's the number one key thing is I will think something, she'll say it 2 seconds later.
Yep.
Or vice versa.
Exactly.
And
100%.
I'm like, get the fuck out of my head.
Happens too much, man.
I think
happens
that's
too much.
the perfect, because I'm a big energy person.
Yep.
And I'm a big synchronicity.
Yeah.
You're so in sync on like everything is energy in the universe.
Yeah.
Even God is energy.
Yeah.
Right. We're all energy. We're all little protons and neutrons. This is science that vibrate on a certain frequency that all exists as one.
Yeah.
We all come from the same creator. That's it.
That's it.
You know, and then humans fucked it all up and gave it labels.
Yeah.
Like period.
Exactly.
Like when I studied religion, I grew up Christian.
Yeah.
But I asked too many questions.
Yeah.
And every time I ask questions, I get, well, you need to have blind faith.
Yeah,
I'm like, but I want proof of everything.
Yeah,
and then I'll find, it's my ability to find discrepancies in things. And plus I love alternative thinking.
Yeah.
And who knows if anyone got it really right? We don't know. We weren't there 2,000 years ago.
100%.
We're just believing something someone said, being passed down generation.
Yeah.
And then you get the telephone effect.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
That's the thing. Like, so I have a buddy, Tyler, he's going into to be a pastor school or whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
And he is the type of guy, I will text him or call him and he'll text me back a Bible verse of how he's feeling.
Yeah.
And then I will try to talk to him about history. And then he looks through the Bible and he's like, oh, if it's not in the Bible, it didn't happen. I'm like, so you don't think about any alternative thinking about anything else outside your world? He's like, no, because it doesn't exist.
It's all inside that one box, man.
Yeah. And then that right there turned me off. I was like, but there's proof dinosaurs exist.
No, totally, man. Totally. 100%.
So it's like, God is for sure real.
Yep.
God is very important in a family home. I 100% believe that. It should be in schools because we all come from God. If it's a creator, if it's a being, if it's energy, whatever the fuck it is, it's something that humans do not comprehend.
Yep.
And when you try to write it in a book, you dumb it down.
Yeah.
Period.
Definitely.
English is such a boring, small, it's a very low vibrational way of thinking and talking.
Yep.
And then you have translations from all these Bibles over thousands of years. How do you know someone didn't put their own translation in there to have a certain agenda?
Yeah, you don't.
All humans are corrupt, right?
Yeah.
So of course they did.
Definitely.
Right? And then, you know, I'm not trying to bring on the religious thing, but I love the aspects of it. Because if you go back to the 1930s, which this podcast is designed to do to get us back, and the girl's like, I don't want to go back to 1930s. I had no rights. I'm like, you had it made. You didn't pay taxes and you didn't have to work. You just stayed home with the kids. Like, where am I seeing the problem with that?
Definitely.
Imagine if I could do that.
Yeah.
And people now today are trying to go back to that financially, but with housing prices and bills and taxes, you can't do that without dual income unless you make it.
No, for sure.
And then that's less than 1% of the people.
Yep.
Like you're in real estate, you understand how much it costs to own a house.
Yeah.
Houses are now $2 to $3 million in our neighborhood.
Yep.
You have to make $400K a year on paper after taxes to qualify. And that's why you see 103 listings in Langley that are not selling.
Exactly.
Anything over 1.5 is not moving.
Yep.
At all.
No.
Anything under 800 sure flips right away because that's what everyone can afford.
Yeah.
So that's why I've done so much success is because I stay under 800.
That's the trick. That's the trick.
A lot of people, I'm like, I just talk to mortgage brokers like, this is how it's done.
Yep.
Anyways, this part of the podcast is how to be successful as a man, because it's your job and my job as the leader of the household to make our family better off
Yep.
when it started.
100%.
Right. And
Yep.
and the thing as being a dad, like Natalie lives at the lake house 2 months, July and August, and they want me to come visit and hang out. But I'm like, Daddy has to pay bills.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm trying to be, I am an entrepreneur because I run 8 companies now, or 5 companies now.
Yep.
And this is one of them. And trying to, because I see the potential in money. This is why I got into real estate.
Yeah.
It's because it was less time of schooling versus maximum profits.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And I'm
Definitely.
like, that was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like working an hourly wage is a starter job. It's not an end job.
No, exactly.
And you
exactly.
can't get rich doing that.
No, not at all.
No. And, you know, a lot of people today are struggling because they're working 9 to 5. A lot of guys are. And it's more when I see a man that's raising a family and he is stuck in 9 to 5 for the rest of his life because he has no ambition. A lot of people are like, oh, you're rich. You know, you can do this and that. I started off in a trailer park with my dad and a 1-bedroom basement with my mom with a brother.
Yeah.
And I got here.
Yeah.
So don't give me
exactly.
that fucking crap.
No, 100%.
That I don't have. My dad still lives in a trailer park.
Yeah, yeah. Crazy, man.
And I always tell my dad, I'm like, honestly, he was the best dad for me. I always tell him, Dad, thank you. For you're the best teacher. And he's like, I'm not successful. I'm like, yeah, because I apply what not to do practice.
Yeah.
Right. And so is
Exactly.
Natalie. Natalie grew up, her parents, she's a foster baby.
Yeah, yeah.
And her parents were addicts and left her.
Yeah.
And then opposite opposite of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's opposite
Totally.
day.
100%, man.
It's like with careers, do the opposite of what everyone else is doing and you'll make it.
That's it. That's
Period.
it. You see where other people failed.
Yeah.
And you grow from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, 100%.
It's like I see the 9 to 5 struggle,
Yep.
and I see the clients that work their whole life to save 40 grand for a down payment.
Yep.
And then the market goes up, and that 40K is now needs to be 80K.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they're very particular in what they want to buy or what they can afford, and they get pissed off at you.
Yeah.
Because they can't afford anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, like it's the name of the game.
That's it.
Like, period. I hate it. Like, I wish there would be some form of collapse, which I do believe is coming next year in the single family department.
Yep.
If you have 103 listings, you have 326 single families listed in Abbotsford and not selling.
Crazy. All sale.
And they're just like, it's like just teetering.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ready to go,
Oh,
right?
no, man.
Anything under $1 million is for sure protected. That's fine.
Yeah.
But it's the single families that do need a major correction.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, you got in at a good time.
Yep.
You know, I didn't.
Decent time, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, wild.
Yeah. So, what does your wife do for a job?
My wife works part-time.
Part-time.
Part-time as a server, yeah.
And she raises the kids, though?
Raises the kids, yeah.
Oh, I bet she loves that, eh?
Yeah. Oh, 100%, man. 100%.
Yeah.
And I think it's super important for the kids to have their mother around.
Yeah. Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you do daycare?
No daycare.
Yeah. See,
No daycare. She works on the days that I have off. That's
Yeah.
the days she goes to work.
Yeah. So we noticed, so Vera did daycare Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Grandma does Tuesdays and Thursdays here. Natalie wants to be pregnant like yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
But because I'm on TRT, it's not happening. So
Oh,
I have to go
shoot.
fucking do fertility,
Oh,
HCG,
man.
all this
Brutal.
shit coming up here.
Brutal, man.
Shooting blanks apparently. And but like I want 3 kids, so we got to get started. She's 30.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to work anymore,
Yeah.
which is fine. Like she only worked because I'm like, hey, at 26, you're young. I don't want you to tell me when we're 80 that I wish, or you wish you did something with your life.
Yeah, yeah.
You tried.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want to hear that excuse from you.
Nope.
So please go try to get a career. What do you like doing? She's like, I like working with kids. I'm like, well, go be a teacher. It's a simple school. It was like only 2-year online shit during 2020 and 2022.
Yeah, yeah.
And she did it, and she makes like $35 an hour, but
Yeah.
like that's nothing nowadays.
No.
No.
Exactly. No, exactly, man.
I see your
Exactly.
paychecks. I'm like, if you ever broke up, what are you going to do? Start an OnlyFans page?
Yeah. Oh, no, man.
Like I pay all the bills. She
Yeah, yeah.
helps out here and there. Like she's paying for Disneyland and all that stuff, you know, because I feel like to be appreciated. You know, I pay, our cost of living is fucking retarded here.
Yeah.
But that is what it is. I make enough money. I really don't care. But now she wants to just be a full-time mom, and she never wants to come on the podcast because of her job and stuff like that, which I respect.
Yeah.
But she's like, she feels so bad for the women. Most of her friends don't have kids.
Yeah, yeah.
They're all partying and twerking for free drinks. The club is in their mid-30s.
Exactly.
And she's like, that is absurd. Like, women have a period of time to have kids. By 30, 80% of your eggs drop off.
Yeah, yeah.
And then 35, 40 is your last hurrah.
100%.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then 40, and then the next 40 years after that is the most loneliest time in your life. You don't have children.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's insane. Like, every rich person I ever talked to that's even a millionaire or billionaire, and if they don't have kids, they're the most miserable people on the planet.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
It's insane. And I wish more of you would have kids, but I wish the right people would have kids.
Yeah.
A lot of you have kids that shouldn't be having kids.
True enough, man. True enough.
It's crazy. This is why I can't wait for my kid to kind of be a little older and I can go to teacher parent interviews and I can be part of the school board.
Exactly.
Because I'm going to jump right in there.
Yeah.
And they need strong guys like you and me.
Oh, 100%.
To get in here. This is why I brought you on the podcast. I'm like, I looked at your Instagram. I'm like, the guy is a nice, good family guy.
Yeah.
You are less than 1% of what guys actually are. And you have really good energy.
Yeah.
And it's probably because you're Catholic.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Right. Probably plays a role in it, man.
It's probably a major role. Were your parents Catholic?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why Catholic over Christian?
That's just how I was raised.
Yeah, so that's
how I was raised, man. Just going back to my grandparents, their grandparents, just Catholic, man.
Down the road.
Yeah.
And then were they all still married?
Yep.
See? Wow.
All still married, man.
Crazy.
All still married.
That's insane. Like me and Natalie also have a law in this house. No matter what happens, we stay together no matter what.
Yep.
We make it work.
Yep.
She has one. I have one rule. You ever touch another man, you're gone.
Yeah.
I can't get over that.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't want to be a raging asshole in the house around the kid if you did that to me.
No, exactly.
If I pay all the bills, you're going to be loyal.
Yeah.
Period.
Definitely.
But you also have to find a girl that wants to be loyal.
Yeah.
And you also have to find a girl that puts family over everything.
Yep.
That's the main thing.
Oh, 100%.
There's a lot of girls nowadays, or my buddies I play hockey with a lot of my guys that have friends or have kids, and they're like, I work all day and I come home and the girl's like, here's the baby, and she goes out for drinks with her friends.
Yeah, that wouldn't fly, man. That would not fly with me, man. No,
like,
man.
I have a unicorn.
Yeah. Or vice versa. Like me come home
Yeah.
and it's like, hey, I'm just get home from work. Hey, I'm going to go out for beers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't do that to her either.
No,
You know what I
never.
mean?
Like I never go clubbing. I don't party. I don't drink.
No.
I'm sober. We're both sober.
That's it.
My Friday and Saturday nights are a movie and a food and popcorn with the kid and the wife. We're going to the park. We're going to the lake house. So it's always family oriented. All of our trips are family oriented, period.
Yep.
We might actually just like our kid. You know, that might just be it. Or we just love being parents.
Yeah.
The main reason is because my 20s, I was so single and partied and I did everything.
Yeah, man. Like, but it's like, it becomes old, man, when you've done it so much in the past.
Oh, yeah. Like
It's
when people are single today in their 40s and they're like, I'm going to the casino.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%, man.
I'm like, you just sound dead inside.
You know what I mean? Going to hang out at the pub, you're 40, 50 years old, and that's like your fucking weekend, dude. It's ridiculous, man.
Just drinking because you're so dead and depressed inside of thinking of the girl that got away.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of good girls out there, but there's a lot of honestly. When I was single, I met nothing but single moms.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I have stepdad on my forehead tattooed in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I need to go buy. But then I bought a 2-seater for a reason.
Yeah.
I can't put kids in here. And it's crazy how girls need to understand this one thing. A real man does not want to raise kids that are not his own.
Yeah.
Like if we could actually pick between a single woman that has no kids versus a person with kids,
Yeah.
we're going to pick the person no kids every time.
Yeah.
Because of one reason. When I was a single, or when I was a stepdad and I was raising kids that weren't mine, the baby daddy made it hell.
Yeah.
And then if we broke up, I had no access to those kids.
Exactly.
And I couldn't tell them what to do because they weren't my kids.
No, 100%.
Yeah. And then plus I had this kind of like honest resentment towards them because they weren't my kids.
Yeah.
And I was taking care of someone else's responsibilities that weren't mine.
But you still kind of grow an attachment. You know
Oh,
what
yeah,
I
I
mean?
was
An attachment to the
attached.
kids. And then it's like, and then eventually like you guys split up and now it's fucking affecting the kids again.
No, yeah. So when you have, like, as a real dad, I have to and want to.
Yeah.
As a stepdad, I don't want to, but I feel bad, so I do it because no one else is doing it.
Yeah, true.
Right?
enough.
So
That
I'm
makes
being
sense.
guilted into it.
Yeah.
Because it's a little kid. There's no fault. The kid's totally innocent. I get that. Had a shitty dad.
Yeah.
And then I have to because without me, it's going to starve.
Yeah.
And then you feel bad and I stayed for the kid during
Yeah.
a 4-year hell relationship.
Crazy.
Because the kid was 0 to 4 when I met her.
Yeah.
And then I was like, she picked drugs over diapers.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, if I leave, this kid's going to die.
Yeah.
And then I got hated on, attacked. And it's too much that it just ended.
Yeah.
And then I met Natalie. We had my own family. Like, oh, this is so much better because I
Nice.
only have to deal with myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Plus, this is a unicorn in today's standards. I met Natalie. She was 26, single, no kids, no ex-boyfriends in the country. That's a unicorn in today's standards.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's definitely a unicorn,
and she was financially self-efficient.
Yeah.
And a relatively low body count.
Yeah.
Like she said under 10, but who fucking knows? I don't care.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
No, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Actually, I always tell her, I'm like, if I found out you were a whore, like a Titanic whore, like you're 20, 30 guys deep, and I found out today, I'd break up with you.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I don't know if it's true or not, I'm just guessing, because girls are whores nowadays. I would leave.
Yeah.
It's just because if I'm making 7 figures a year and I'm being a top 1% earner, I'm decently good looking. I work out, I discipline, I'm very alpha mindset. So if I'm being that type of guy, I expect you to be this type of girl.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, a lot of girls don't like guys like our mindsets because we hold them accountable.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
their shit.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not going out drinking with the girls.
Yeah.
We're hanging out with the family tonight.
Exactly.
But if my girl, how I knew I won with a great girl is there was a girls' Vegas trip coming up for a stay again.
Yeah.
And I heard about it and I was waiting for her to ask me.
Yeah, yeah.
She never asked me.
Oh,
and then
shit.
it came to a week before and I'm like, hey, are you going on this trip? It's your best friend's bachelor party. She's like, no, I don't want to go. I would never do that to you.
Exactly.
I'm like, why? She's like, because girls' trips just aren't girls' trips. They're all cheating on their husbands and boyfriends, and I don't want to disrespect you.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, here's a ring.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, 100%, 100%, man.
Like the first one.
That's it.
It's crazy how like guys are like, oh, it's a girls' trip to Vegas. It's not. Guys' trips aren't guys' trips either. Let's just be honest about it.
Exactly.
It's just to go pound pussy or bang dudes. It's all it is.
100%, man.
It's so rude, especially if if you're just dating, it's casual, whatever.
Yeah,
But if you're living together, paying a mortgage, and you have children at home, both sides. This is not just for guys. This is for girls, or not just for women. It's for girls and guys. You don't do that shit.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all, man.
Put family first above
100%.
everything.
That's it, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't want to put myself in a shitty situation where, or my wife wouldn't even want to put herself in that type of a shitty situation where those opinions would even come up.
Yeah.
Right. You can't do that to the kids.
Well, it's also the worry.
Yeah.
I don't want my girl sitting home. Like I went out. Like I never go because I hate drinking. I think it's so low vibrational. I think it's an embarrassment. You have to drink to be happy.
Yeah.
Like I can just be happy just being me because I'm successful and I like being me and
Exactly.
I love myself.
Exactly.
But you know, there's a few times that like I get invited out. So like I have to go to my best friend's steak next weekend. I don't drink, so I'm just gonna be the DD and drive.
Yep.
And I'm like, babe, like we're going to the strip club. You know, I hate strip clubs, but I have to go.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. I'd rather be at the lake house with you guys. If there's gonna be girls there, I'll probably get hit on. Like I tell her the truth about everything.
Yeah.
If you have anything, if you're worried about anything, please call me anytime. I'll answer.
Exactly.
Just call me. I'm
Exactly.
gone from 6 till 1. I'll be see at 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because it like if you're like we're good looking guys, we're gonna hit on. Especially when people watch this podcast and they know more of us. Like, wow, they're actually good guys. We're rare, so you get hit on more.
Exactly.
And girls love to destroy families.
Oh, 100% they do, man. 100% they do, man.
When you're married or in a serious relationship, they see your girlfriend, they want you so much more.
Yeah.
When you're single, they think you're a piece of shit asshole.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a guy I know who wears a wedding ring and he's single just to pick up chicks.
Oh, man. That's too much, man. Holy shit. That's funny. But it works for him, man. You know what I mean? And that's the scary thing.
Yeah. No,
Right?
it's good. But it's like when I used to go date my exes and they went out and I was in my early 20s, I had the worry.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like she's probably talking to the dude, she's not answering her phone, or she gave me like my phone died.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, just go. There's a 7-Eleven open on every corner in
That's it.
Vancouver. Go get a charger.
That's it.
Or can only text but not answer.
Yeah.
That's number one cheater
Red flag.
Oh,
Red flag,
yeah.
man.
And then I actually my ex, I'm not gonna say her name. She's a devil, but she kept going on girls' night all weekend, and I was a simp. How you become an alpha sometimes is you gotta be a simp to learn from mistakes, and then you're like, no more, fist down, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I found out the club she was at, and I showed up because she wasn't answering her phone, and she's sitting on some guy's lap.
Shit.
All the girls are, and it's supposed to be girls' night.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And so I went up and like, oh, you don't answer your phone, so I just snapped it in front of her.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't need it. Threw it out. See you
That's it.
later. Get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah.
We broke up, and I was like, I knew it wasn't girls' night, and my intuition told me, listen to it. Like I learned to listen to my gut.
Oh, 100%.
You're into it. People have abilities. You are empathic. You feel energy. You feel like a good person, bad energy.
Definitely.
And then I just got to listen to my gut, and it took my entire 20s to figure that out.
Yeah.
And the best thing with Natalie, she doesn't give me any bad gut feelings.
Yeah.
That's how I know she's the one.
Exactly. Same as my wife, man. Like
Yeah.
I've had ex-girlfriends in the past, same thing. It was always girls' night here, girls' night there. Phone died, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or couldn't get a ride home. Phone died. Comes back the next morning. You know what I mean? And then, you just, like you said, you learn from that.
You have to learn from that. And the one thing I want to finish off on, because we have daughters, is do you understand why our ancestors, or why they, so I believe dads are better pickers at the mates for their daughters because we understand men better. And I'm going to also add into that, men back in the day would choose their daughter's husband.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? It's called courting.
Yeah, yeah.
And women were a virgin for a reason.
Yeah.
Not just for the purity aspect, because they wanted to make sure that was their kid.
Yeah, yeah.
But when girls are in high school to, let's say, 30, if they date, bad relationship, because women are so emotional based that when time they're 30, like when I was single and I met a girl that was 30 and she's like, I'm 30, I just ran away. Because I know she's so emotionally damaged or so fucked up from all these bad relationships, because women can't get over stuff.
No.
They live in the past.
Yeah.
That's all they do. Men are logical, women are emotional based. It's just how God designed us.
Exactly.
Right. So like, I know a guy that married a virgin. She's 18. He was 22. I think she's Catholic or Christian, one of the two.
Yep.
And she's the most nicest, beautiful woman to talk to. And she's so pleasant. And I'm like, why did you go for the 18-year-old virgin?
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, because I dated these girls that were so fucked up from past relationships. They just were crazy, psychotic.
Exactly.
And then this one has never been put down or let down or ever had a first heartbreak. Nothing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wild.
Crazy, man.
And he's
Crazy.
like, it's nothing but a peaceful home.
Yeah.
I have to deal with Natalie's kind of, disasters in her past. I have trauma from my past for sure.
100%.
I almost wish that I waited till marriage sometimes because I'd be less fucked up.
No, for sure, man.
Right? Because I get severe anxiety panic attacks sometimes. Like I built this life. I worked my ass off the last 12 years. I have a beautiful wife. My worst fear, because when you have a good life finally and you're an entrepreneur, you get anxiety panic attacks like 3 or 4 times a week because you're scared of losing it all and going back down to where you were.
Exactly.
And it gives you the best motivation to get off your ass and go sell that house.
Yeah. Exactly,
Period.
man. Especially when you know, like, the struggle from going from the bottom and making it to the top. You know what I mean? It's not like an easy fucking transition.
Yeah,
you know
when
what I
you
mean?
finally get to the top and you look down, it's like the anxiety of the performance level that I have to perform year after year to get to that point and stay there because I hold myself to accountability. I did a podcast the other day on just discipline. People ask me what I do for fun. It's the weirdest thing. My fun is like, okay, so I'm going to drop another 20 pounds by Christmas. My Christmas gift is a chiseled 6-pack. And from November 1st to December 24th, I'm going to eat 1,500 calories a day, perfect meals, fast 20 hours a day, each day for a month and a half straight. That's my fun.
You'll be shredded in the 30 days, man.
But that's my fun. I'm like, I can't wait for November 1st because I'm going to fucking go all in.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
And
man.
I'm going to go downstairs when I get a bad craving and suffer, eat salt, suck on salt because I'm a salty guy. I'm not a sugar guy. I need salt to cure the cravings for a bit. Like it's a temporary Band-Aid.
Crazy.
And then get through the first 2 weeks. The longer you're clean, the easier it is. I did a 50-day stint in January, February and January. And the longer I was sober off bad food, it was so much easier.
Oh, definitely, man.
And I was addicted to the gym. That I almost wanted to go. I had a problem where my diet coach, I worked out too much. Where your body gets cortisol levels way too high.
You stress your body way too much, man. And people fall into that a lot where they think, hey, I'm going to come in, I'm going to do high intensity exercise, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to push.
Yeah.
Cortisol fucking levels get you, man.
And then you get water retention problems. I looked it up. So then we find I was doing 5 days a week hockey and then 5 days of training in the mornings at the gym.
Yeah, crazy.
And then my core, and I wouldn't drop weight. And I would have weight spikes because I weigh myself every morning for accountability. And I report every morning to the coach. And then he's like, "Hey, you're way overtraining." I'm like, but my cardio is so good. Like I could do it and I'm not even tired. I'm up at 11 a.m. My eyes are just buzzed open. I'm so energized. And he's like, "Hey, do half and half." So 50% drop on all workouts. And I did that. And I started shredding like 4 pounds a week. Just
That's
less
it.
workouts.
That's
Just
it.
drop. And I dropped like 20 pounds in 2 months.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was losing weight the whole time, fat, but my body was retaining too much water.
Yep.
So when I did the drop, I was like, wow, I can just sit at home and watch TV and do fuck all and look good.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. 100%.
Yeah, it's crazy. And thanks for coming on the podcast today.
No worries, man.
That was about an hour and a half.
Cheers, man.
Thanks, man.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.